Hi, I'm Jalen Rose, and welcome to the Renaissance Man podcast, proudly presented by the New York Post, a show where we cover trends in fashion, entertainment, current events, and everything in between. My next guest is the quarterback of the future Super Bowl champion Detroit Lions, nominee of the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year, and as I mentioned, is leading one of the best offenses in the league right now. And not only that, I'm so very proud to say he's also connecting in the community with his time, his passion, his energy, his money, including supporting Fate and the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy. It is my honor to welcome my quarterback, Jared Goff, to the Renaissance Man. Welcome, my brother.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. That was quite the intro. I appreciate it. This is going to be great.
Well deserved. I appreciate that. And I know your story because I'm a huge fan, but we have a large audience, and I want to introduce the people to exactly who you are, where you from,
Sure.
and you grew up in California. Tell me what your childhood was like there, and when did you notice you had athletic talent?
Yeah, that's a good question. I grew up in Northern California, just north of San Francisco, and played all three sports growing up. I was baseball, basketball, football. When I was in high school, I was an okay basketball player. I couldn't really shoot, so then I figured that one's probably out. I was scrappy though. I was a good rebounder. I was good on defense, but I was a great shooter. So I was like, all right, basketball's out. I was good at baseball and I was good at football, but probably about my sophomore, junior year of football was when I was like, all right, I can play in college and maybe we'll see what happens after that. But growing up, I was a pretty good athlete, as I'm sure you were.
As now athletes are a lot specialized, and I appreciated hearing something that I basically did. Whatever season it was,
Right.
is the sport that we played. So I want to ask you about the sports first that you didn't make the professional ranks. Tell me about what position you played in baseball and who were some of the players you idolized.
I played shortstop. and actually my dad played professional baseball. So growing up, baseball was kind of my first love, and I was good at it. I loved it. Me and him got the bond over it. He was my coach. It was a lot of fun for me in baseball, and I enjoyed it. But as I got older, football started to kind of separate myself, and baseball. I was good though. I was still good.
Well, for anybody that knows baseball, if you played shortstop, you're being humble. You're really good. Who are some of the players that when you were playing at that time that you tried to model your game after?
Growing from the Bay, it was Barry Bonds all day long. I was 10, 12 years old when he was going through his, his big years, and he was the guy. Jeff Kent in the Bay Area. I remember Rich Aurelia was the shortstop for the Giants. Omar Vizquel, you might remember that name. He was the shortstop for the Giants as well. All those Giants players for me were like the greatest, and loved watching them and growing up being a fan of them.
So the Warriors now are multiple champions, and they have the Splash Brothers. But when you were growing up, that wasn't necessarily the case. But you guys did have Run TMC, who I love very much. So talk to me about your basketball game and some of the players you idolized.
Growing up, it was always Warriors, man. I mean, I can go all the way back with Dunleavy and Troy Murphy and Biedrins and Petrus and who was there? I think at one point Claxton was there, and then obviously the We Believe years with Baron Davis and Steven Jackson and Jay Rich and all those guys. Those were like my growing up years. And then once I got to like high school, college is when Curry came in and Clay and all those guys, Draymond, and that became a lot of fun for me to be able to go to those games, be able to meet a few of those guys, and be able to really, enjoy some glory years with those guys.
That's dope. So a lot of media members coin phrases and or nicknames for players. I tried to research mine, and I tried to put two and two together. I said, he's from the Bay. He wears number 16. He has to love Joey Montana. And then all of a sudden you got traded to my Lions, and I wanted to combine your name with his. Jared Montana is what I call you. Are you okay with me calling you that? And am I right about your love for football and Joe Montana?
Yes. Yeah, you're all right in calling me that. I'll take that all day long. It's a pretty good nickname there, and I'll roll with it. But yeah, growing up, I was a Niner fan. I was too young to see him play, but I remember when I was picking my jersey number, My dad was there and all the kids, and we're picking our jersey number, and I'm playing quarterback. I'm 7 years old, and 16 was available, and he's like, "Hey, just go with 16. That's Joe Montana." And I'm like, "All right, like sure." And since then, I've learned about obviously his career and how great he was in the Bay Area, but never really got to see him play. But obviously, I'm a huge fan and grew up a Niner fan.
Well, the way you guys play now with the spread, using multiple weapons, multiple backs, I'll tell you, as somebody that's old enough to watch those teams, that changed how we see football. They took it from 3 downs in a cloud of dust, 3 tight ends, 2 fullbacks in the backfield on the goal line. They helped change how we see football. So I have to ask you about this year's team. You got all of your weapons back.
Yeah.
You spreading around the football. Tell me what it's like being under center, having your complement of players back, and you guys performing so well.
And it feels good, man. It feels good. We went through some hard times this year with some injuries and, kind of grinding through that. And now in these last handful of weeks, getting guys back, our O-line is healthy. They're playing so damn well. And we keep saying we got our horses back, man. We got our horses on the outside, getting Jameson back this past week, and DJ and Josh is healthy, and St. Brown and all these guys. It's a lot of fun to play quarterback with, and I'm enjoying my time right now.
We're forever grateful for not only how you perform on Sundays, Thursdays, or Mondays, whenever the games are, but I'm really gracious for the time you spend giving back to our community. A lot of athletes, and I can't blame them for this, they come to a town, they play their sport, they do their best, and they just focus on wins or losses. For you, when did it become something that became important to also take time to get back to the community?
Yeah, it really started back in LA. I started the JG16 clothing thing, and it was really just for fun at first. And then I'm like, what am I doing? I'm making, I don't know, $5,000-$10,000 off selling these clothes. Let's do something for the kids with it. And was able to partner with a school out there and build a STEAM lab and build a library and donate backpacks and whatever it was out there. And then when I got traded here, it was like perfect. This is a community that could use it, and it's a community that is so fun to be involved in, and is so gracious of everything. And so it was kind of a perfect fit for me to be out here and to be able to get involved in this community and to work with the FATE program, like you mentioned, and to be able to partner with them on that. It was kind of a dream partnership for me, and it's worked out great. And we raised a ton of money for those kids.
Shout out to the FATE program, Dave and Kuhu, also the JRLA scholars that were also involved with you with working with your clothing brand, and they were excited to do some design work. How gratifying is it for you to get a chance to spend time with students that probably never have an opportunity even to attend an NFL game, let alone meet a star quarterback?
Yeah, it's the most rewarding and gratifying thing I've ever done in my life, and it's so fun for me to be with them and to spend time with them. And I think about the days that we were brainstorming what do we want the design to look like, and what do we want it to be, and what do we want it to represent. And we came up with some mood boards and going through that process with them, and then seeing the products come out, and then now seeing them being sold, and all the money we've raised, it's going to go directly back to them. It's really, really, really gratifying, and a whole lot of fun. Most of all, to be able to connect with these kids and to be able to get to know them and hopefully be connected with them for a long time.
And I call that the charity that makes it to the hood. And we're so very grateful that you care so much to do so. I have to ask you, you were the #1 overall pick in the draft. You played for the Rams. And I know you uber competitive or you wouldn't be in the league. I've gotten traded before. I played against my former teams. I followed what they did when I left. And you saw the Rams win the Super Bowl last year. How did that impact your off season?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't hard. Yeah, of course it was really hard, and it was difficult, but you find out who you are, and you find out who your character is and what you're truly made of and what you truly care about. And to me, that's my teammates and my coaches, and how I can be my best and make them better. And so really dug into that this offseason. How can I really elevate my team around me and make them the best they can be, as well as making myself the best I can be. So spent a lot of time on that, and just digging deep and finding out who you are, and really coming to work and blocking out the noise and doing your best.
You've done that, because character is who we are when no one's looking. And all I know is when I see the standings, we're playoff trending, and we're going to win the Super Bowl at some point, and you're going to be on the center. They're in a position to give us their top 5 pick, and we'll take it. But I have to say, Now that you guys have found your stride offensively and the defense is flying around making plays, what is it like as a quarterback to be on the sideline and watch your defense make the kind of plays they've been making this year?
Yeah, man, it's a full team now. You know, it really truly is. It's a full team win. Every week we win, and being able to get short fields, to get the 4th-and-1 stop to start the game last week, like stuff like that, to get the turnover in the red zone, like it fuels us and it changes the game, and it truly changes momentum. And I've been on good teams. I've played in the league for this is my 7th year, and this feels like a really good team, and it feels like a really good team who can make a run. Now that doesn't mean we will. We have to still do it. We have to put in the work and win some of these last 4 games, but we're in a good position, and we're really playing our best football when it matters, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
As a basketball player, I used to always acknowledge we play more games than we watch film, and we play multiple times a week. But as a football player, it seems like you guys watch way more film than you ever play.
Yes.
Can you acknowledge for the fans what goes into a day of preparation? Because so many people want to be professional athletes and so many people want to be quarterbacks, and rightfully so. Can you just describe the time and the energy that goes into your craft?
Yeah, it's every day. Really, if you're playing quarterback, I believe it's every day. And you know, spending time getting to know the opponent, getting to know your game plan, and getting to know, you know, how they're going to try to take advantage of you. And once we've, you know, established an identity, you're able to know like how they're going to want to attack it. So you have a little bit of a step ahead in that way, and we've been able to do that. But yeah, for me, it's every day, and it's hours, and you know, it's before and after practice. And as I've gotten older, though, I've started to focus more on owning our game plan. You know, you've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of defenses now. By no means have I seen everything, but I've seen a lot. So how can I, you know, really own what we're doing and just react to what they're doing? Now, it doesn't mean we're not watching a lot of film. We still are, but there is a lot of time spent on both what we are going to do and then how they're going to attack us.
The world got a chance to get a snapshot of how lovable this team was in the offseason via Hard Knocks and Coach Campbell and your offensive coordinator. Can you just talk about that union that you guys have and why it's working so well?
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to play for, man. He was a player and he gets it, and he's a really good communicator. He's a really good leader. He's able to get you kind of ready to run through a brick wall in about 5 minutes if he wants to. And it's a lot of fun, and we've got a lot of young guys who are learning and coming along. And I think, you know, back to when Aiden did that dance in the team meeting, you know, he's
yes.
he's the 2nd overall pick, and he could go up there and do anything. We could boo him and he could just walk off and do whatever. But no, he spent some time on that and got up there, and the place went nuts. It was one of the coolest moments I've been a part of in a rookie show. And I think, you know, a guy like him, Panay, these young guys, and coupled with the veterans we have, Frank, Decker, the guys that have been through it, Anzalone, myself, like it's a good blend right now, and we're having a lot of fun together.
You guys are balling, and the sky's the limit for you guys' potential. And I have to ask you, playing under center, you look around the league, who besides yourself, because you're number one, flat out, besides yourself, if you had to rate the top 5 quarterbacks in the current NFL, who would you pick?
I don't know. It's hard to give you 5, but the guys that are playing at the highest level right now, and I don't think it's even close, is Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Josh Allen. And Tua's in there too. Like right now, those guys are playing at such a high level, and we've crossed over a lot of film with them, and it's really impressive what they're doing and moving their teams down the field and you know, playing really good ball right now.
Those are great answers, and I agree. And I love the currency. I have to also acknowledge sometimes as an athlete, as a human being, we have bad days. We have losses. We have turnovers. We have struggles. Can you please acknowledge for our fans, because I've talked about that a lot on this show, how I do therapy, how I meditate, certain things that allow me to overcome certain turbulence that may happen in my day. Do you have any remedies that you would like to share with the public that may be having a tough day or their goals not happening in the way they feel like they can happen so that they can find a way to endure?
Yeah, all of that. I think the meditation, the therapy is all stuff that I've tried, that teammates of mine have tried, and it's all very helpful. I think just talking, you know, we have so much pressure on us, and being able to, you know, verbalize that and how you feel and whatnot can take a lot of that pressure off and make you feel like a human again. So, but we love our fans. They put pressure on us because they love us, and it's our job to handle it in some ways. But it does help to have some people to talk to, and I think that's important.
I've gotten a chance to meet your significant other. Congratulations.
Thank
You've
you.
outkicked your coverage, and
Very
that's a
much
compliment.
So. Thank you.
And I saw that you guys met online.
Yes.
So if you were helping somebody build an online dating profile, what are some of the things that they got to make sure they put on there?
First thing, have a picture with your mom. Make sure
that's a good one.
Make sure that's one of your first pictures, so they go, okay, that's a good guy right there. You have a picture with your mom, and then maybe a picture with a dog. If you feel good about your physique, go ahead and put a picture with your shirt off if you feel good about that. But yeah, that was mostly my photos, and it worked.
It definitely worked, and everything that the Lions are doing is going to continue to work because you guys are committed to team and the community and doing it the right way. And I know you're very busy, but before I let you get out of here, I have a rapid fire segment called Gone in 60 Seconds. You ready to do this?
Let's do it.
All right. Fans online have pointed out that you resemble actor Ryan Gosling in Remember the Titans. So I have to ask you, what's your favorite movie or TV show depicting football?
Ooh, that's a good one. When I was growing up, The Longest Yard was a big movie, and it's funny, but it's a good football movie, and it has those aspects of football. So The Longest Yard was one of those for me growing up, as well as Remember the Titans. That was probably 10 years old. So probably those two.
Of the arenas and stadiums that you've played at, which do you recall having the biggest game?
Ooh, New Orleans NFC Championship. That was the loudest atmosphere I've ever played in, probably will ever play in. It was unbelievable. They had to be pumping in noise or doing something crazy. I joke with Dan about it because Dan was coaching tight ends for them. But man, that was a fun one, and it was fun because we won. But that was a freaking crazy atmosphere.
What is a New Year's resolution that you would like to share?
Stay present. Stay in the moment. Be where your feet are more often than ever.
What is the hardest hit and by whom that you've ever taken in your career?
Oh man. I can give you a couple. Richard Sherman hit me down the sideline my rookie year. You've probably seen it when I was running. He hit me down the sideline. That was a pretty good one. Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr hit me my second year in the league in Minnesota, and I thought I bit my tongue off. And Dominic and Sue got me pretty good one time. It's usually the ones that they get you in like the chest that hurt. The face, you can take those, you're all right. The ones in the chest that knock the wind out of you, that you feel it in your sternum, those are the ones.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, your favorite touchdown throw.
Ooh, ever?
Yes.
Oh man. Probably when we played the Chiefs on Monday night and I threw that ball down the sideline to Gerald Everett. That was a fun one. That put us up 54-14 in 2018. That was a fun one, man. That was a really fun one.
Well, again, I'm forever grateful for the time and the energy you spend in the community. You're my quarterback, Jared Montana Goff. Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you, Jalen. I appreciate you, man.